guys. Okay, let's wait for a minute as usual.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. All right, let's begin. So welcome everyone at our 38th weekly governance call for the DeFi group of FreeTON. So we have some updates today. So let's see if I can see. There's a bunch of proposals posted in the group. But let's begin from the start, actually. So starting from contest updates, we have two contests that has finished recently. So the first one is lending and borrowing contest essay. So that was aiming to describe the discrepancies and the possibility of implementing the existing lending protocols on FreeTON. And we had some good works there, and generally this is only confirmed. So my thoughts, and I also performed my own analytics on what can be done on FreeTON or not. And we will discuss about lending a bit later today. So the payment for the lending and borrowing contest will be performed today, this evening. So the contract is already deployed. So we will just collect all the custodians and release the payment. It will happen tonight, I think. The next contest that has ended is the self-sovereign identity framework, which is actually huge in terms of the quality of the works that were submitted to this contest. But unfortunately, it didn't get the quorum of jurors. I don't know for what reason, but now we need to prolong the voting period to let all those guys who didn't post their comments to do this actually, and we cannot miss this opportunity. So this is really a very good contest with solid participants in it. And this is the beginning actually for the SSI framework on FreeTON. Yeah, so linked to this, so I prepared a bunch of proposals this morning. So the first one is that I made the analytics of jurors' activity and talked to some jurors who have been not really active recently. And of them, first of all, Zurab, he doesn't have time to perform his juror duties, so he decided to resign. And this is the first one. Also, we will run the additional contest for the jury selection, just to have the number of jurors closer to 20. So if you have some good candidates or you are not yet a juror and want to participate, so please join. But be prepared that being a juror is not an easy task, actually, and it requires a lot of your time. And although it's very interesting job, because you are reading a lot of good ideas, and you are staying on the edge of the technology and on the thoughts of the people. But please, if you don't feel capable to allocate enough time, and you see that we don't have contests so frequently, but still they're normally very big and complex. So please assess your possibilities. Just be fair to yourself, first of all. So if you can or not. Also, I posted the long-awaited Ethereum breach stage. Actually, 3 and 4 combined, because after the deep analytics, so both stages, so they cannot be done one without another, and there is no sense in splitting them. We will also run the audit within this contest of the solution, so that at the end, so we will get the working solution with the DAO implemented, and you have seen already maybe some pieces of this solution. Yeah, so that's for proposals. And also we had a lot of discussion about how to calculate jurors' votes, because they are not actually put the votes for all submissions time to time, and if some submissions got the full board of votes and others don't, so how would you calculate the average score that directly affects the price place? And for this purpose, I added to our procedural remarks document the possibility to choose between 3 calculation modes, actually. So the first one is the default one, where all votes count as eligible ones, and it is used by default, and if you don't specify anything else. And this just removes the ambiguity that currently exists. The second mode is the strict mode, when you take the submission with the least number of votes. You take this number and take the same number of worst scores in other submissions, and then you define the winner. So it means that if you've got some rejects, so these rejects will seriously affect. On the contrary, there is a lose mode that takes the same number of the best scores published for your submission, and in this mode, if you get a lot of good scores from jurors, so this probably means that you will get the highest score. All of it really depends on the contest creator, so who will choose which mode of calculation of scores he prefers and he thinks is reasonable for this contest. And this removes the ambiguity that we currently have. Another addition that is also linked to the jury is that after the discussion with some governance members and the jurors, with the community, so I propose to increase the jury rewards, first of all, from 5% to 9%, and also add 1% of the prize fund as a motivation for those jurors who really spend their time and assess all of the submissions. So except for abstaining votes, of course. So you should really take your time and put some accepts or rejects on the submissions with valuable comments, reasoning why you did so. And in such a case, you are eligible to share the 1% of the prize fund as an additional reward. This is done to motivate jurors really perform the duty better. And right now, it is not the case, unfortunately. Yeah, so we tried to put some rewards. We tried to notify people, but still people probably don't feel too motivated to assess all of the submissions, maybe for some other reasons. We'll see how it goes. So hope this will help us to increase the judging quality significantly. Yeah, so in the end, I want DeFi jury to be really fair and involved because we develop quite the products that are on the edge of the technology and economics. So it's really necessary not only from the participant side to create all of this technology and concepts, but also for jurors to select the best of the best. Yes, because in only this case we will be the really the most advanced DeFi ecosystem among other blockchains. Okay, so do you have some questions for these updates, or we can switch to the lending discussion? Just raise your hand and say something. Yeah, some please. You're muted.
Yeah. Hello.
Such a sun behind
I want. Yes, sun and mountains.
Nice.
About if you talk about prolonged contest for SSI, I want to clarify it. This marks what we did for now, because I tried and I voted for this. It stay in only period, only time go up, or we need to one more time to vote in.
I thought about this.
It will be okay.
Yeah, it will be same participants, so no extension of submission period, definitely. But at the same time, I think it will not be fair for those jurors who have posted already their votes to restrict them to what they posted, actually, because they had less time to analyze the works than those who will just do this for the extended period. So that's why in the proposal I put that those jurors who have already posted their votes, they should do this again, and if they want to change something, so they are free to do so. So, in fact, they have the advance because because they already have read the documents and they already have some knowledge. But now they will have some additional time to analyze deeper and maybe even run a May session with participants. What I personally would prefer to do.
But it means that votes now go out and everybody needs to revote or vote one more time again. Yes or not? I'm not sure.
Most probably yes. I personally don't know if it's possible to transfer because how the voting extension works actually. So the interface group in fact deploys one additional contract and transfers all the data from the old ones to the new one, except for the one parameter. I don't know if they can transfer only submissions and without juror votes.
Yeah, okay, it's not so big work in this case because there are only 4 submissions for now. Absolutely. It's not maybe so important. Even for me, for example, I did every time Excel file where put my opinion, my vote, and after that voting, it needs to copy paste one more time. But for me, important to understand, to clarify.
Alexander, as do I, but Vlad, what I want to check it in reality. So if the juries already votes, and if you're right that the new smart contract transferred submission and previous let's say previous marks and previous evaluation, that Alexander and me, for instance, cannot revote, it should be rejected. Let's check it, easy to check. And if you will try to revote and repost and it will be accepted, so we will know for the next time that in such cases it's impossible to revote and it transferred from the old contract. It's easy to do.
Yeah.
Very useful, right?
Exactly. I will check with interface team if it's possible to transfer only submissions without votes of the current jurors. Because for jurors, I think it's not a big deal to cast for votes through easy vote with just 1 minute,
right.
especially
So,
if they have this
probably
in this case, not.
Right, and probably that there is a time to discuss. The first suggestion I have is to enlarge to that field of the description of the jurors. Let's say, like it was in the Twitter history, it's 140 letters, and the time to enlarge that, because in most time there is not enough space to put the explanation of it. At the first question or first suggestion, let's say, probably we should speak with the other governances and so on. The second suggestion is to trying to formalize categories of evaluation, let's say, technical part or by the groups. Probably it will be complicate the process, and I'm not sure about it, but to discuss about that. So now we have only the small fields to explain something, but sometime it's not enough. And the one more things that I spot for the Chrome extension contest on the SSI and the DEX and so on is for one submission, let's say for submission A, voted 4 or 6 or 9 jurors of 15 or 16. For the second one in the same contest, it's not the 5 or 6 but 9 of it. And what does it mean? That's the average calculation. It's completely different.
Yeah,
and it should be somehow harmonized, and I don't know how. I think about it, but I strongly believe that's the in some such cases the average evaluation should be completely different in frame of the one contest.
Yeah, actually, to answer you, so first you can use easy vote. So it already supports larger commands. So it's not limited to 140 symbols or so. So you can accept really a big amount of symbols. The second I didn't remember. So what you asked?
It's about to split the description of juror to the group on the formal classes.
It's actually not possible now. There is a work done in parallel on the global jury groups, specializing in some specific areas. However, I don't know the progress there, and most probably it will come only with the governance to own.
No problem.
Yeah, the third one, it's actually what I told in the beginning of the call, is have a look on the new procedural remarks document. So it contains already the calculation basis remark, actually, that you can, as a contest creator, you can select so which mode and how which scores will be considered legitimate at the moment of defining price places. So I think it covers almost 100% of situations.
Good, but will this new edition of procedural remarks will regard only on DeFi, or you will try to spread it on the whole?
Actually, what happens is that DeFi in that sense is one of the most structured and sound sub-governances, and the document that we initially created, these procedural remarks, I personally know it's being used at least in 2 or 3 other sub-governances, and hopefully they will also accept the second version of it, so as a benchmark, and also implement this. But I can speak only for the DeFi sub-governance. I'm here.
Anyway, let's discuss this new edition, new version you offer it, and later they will speak with the colleague from the other.
Definitely. Thanks for questions. Yeah, Alina, please.
Yeah, hi. Maybe it is important to note that in a SEC contest, the rule about the reject vote was not also taken into account. You can check according to some works. Maybe it is important to notice for the future.
What do you mean?
I mean that in procedural remarks, we have the rule that when the jury votes reject,
Yeah.
It counts as a 0.
Yes, exactly.
But as you can see in lending and borrowing contest, works which had rejects, they still had average points without counting rejects.
You mean in the governance interface?
Yep.
Yeah,
don't vote. Yeah, I believe that what I believe
Yeah.
that the governance interface is the somehow mistaken calculated.
Yes, don't pay attention to it because it calculates the average score in its own specific manner, and this is why long time ago I proposed to change the consensus mechanism specifically for the DeFi governance, because in the governance interface, first of all, it considers that any proposal is accepted and unless it is specifically rejected by jurors. And this is not convenient and it creates a lot of confusion. That's why long ago we changed this to that every submission is considered rejected if it's not approved by the jurors. So which is more fair and more easy to understand. Also, specifically to the DeFi governance, each contest inside contains the link to the procedural remarks for a reason, because out there is a procedure on how to calculate the average score, on how to calculate price places, on what is the threshold score, and a lot of other information, because this is, you know, like safety measures are written by the blood. The same pretty much is for our procedural remarks, because we made some mistakes in the very beginning, and it's okay, but we are learning our mistakes, and we try to reflect how we believe the contest system should work in this procedural remarks document. And that's why I pay attention that there is a new update onto it published on the forum. So please, everyone, have a look on it. If you didn't read it still, so it's important to do this now, because there are a lot of useful information inside it, and it really makes the voting and participation in the contest really clear and transparent.
So average points which are shown in this interface, they are on, and it recounts somehow.
Yes,
like
yes.
manually?
Actually, speaking of lending contests, there are. Let me open the table. Just a second. Where is it?
While the Vlad is checking his desktop, Alina, do you use the Easy Votes interface?
Yep.
Yeah, there is. I strongly believe that's the correct calculation in it.
Not always, but you should always consult the procedure specifically for the DeFi governance, because an easy vote and FreeTON stats and all other interfaces, they are in fact tailored to be universal. So instead of incorporate all the specific needs of government and their regulations. In fact, there are now 2 winners of this contest following the calculation method. Just this page here. So with the first place taking the 2 places taking the rewards, and these ones, for example, they do not pass the threshold, actually, because rejects count as 0 and they lower the score. And also the remainder of the prize fund is not used again as per procedure. And yeah, so congrats to winners, they will receive the rewards today. And so for all others, just please read the procedure. It's there for a reason.
So for now, it's made only manually.
Unfortunately, yes, but hopefully there are already some tools that facilitate a lot of calculation. For example, I personally use the one that was developed by the by Daniel. So it is called FreeTON Stats. FreeTON Stats.org. So I will just drop the link to the chat for anyone who wants to try it himself. But still, it's a universal one that doesn't allow certain functionality, and you need to every time check it manually in any case. Hopefully, one day we will automate all of this, but not for now.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so any other questions, guys, on these proposals?
So regarding the Zurab exclusion, did you have a chance to spoke with him personally? And
yeah, absolutely, and he's fine because he is really involved in the activity of the DeFi Alliance now, and talks to a lot of market players, and he simply doesn't have time to assess submissions on contests. And we agreed with him that we will remove him from the jury, so he's absolutely fine.
So, and if I'm right, that we are still didn't update the smart contract about the Nimrod exclusion, right?
Yeah, actually, we didn't update not only the sub-governance giver. So,
right.
So his public key is still there, although he cannot do anything because it has 5 of 7 signatures required to submit the transaction.
Right.
But we will redeploy it without his public key.
But why I am asking that's about probably it's the time to do not do twice that double work. Probably we will how to say we'll update it one time with the Nimrod exclusion. It was Zurab exclusion after the voting of it.
No, Zurab is not excluded from the membership.
I see.
Actually, he is still a member of
okay,
governance, and he performs his duties as a custodian as well.
Got it. Sure. For the payment and the governance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So he just have no time to
judge him.
Sort it out the lot of that papers.
Yeah, okay. Definitely. It's a heavy work, so to read out all these papers and to install them, to try to understand how they work, to ask questions. So it's really time consuming. Okay, so let's move on. So let's discuss the results of the lending contest, which is resulted in being quite interesting one, and we got some insights from it. So the major insight is that it confirmed what I supposed, but still, most of the lending protocols that currently exist in the Ethereum are possible to transfer to FreeTON. There is not so much functionality inside it that cannot be done directly. I underline this word because Anton has proposed the way to implement flash loans on FreeTON, kind of. So I don't know if he's here, probably not. So I will ask him maybe to come to the next weekly call and explain more in detail his concept. But still, all these lending mechanics, borrowing mechanics, roping, liquidation, and so on and so forth, all of these are possible. Of course, they will require some reworking because, first of all, we do not, for example, have Chainlink on FreeTON. So we have our own Oracle being developed as a separate contest that will be used by most of the solutions. Then it's, of course, needed to pay attention to the asynchronous nature of FreeTON and the distributed nature and specificities that exist in the blockchain. But still, all of this is possible, which is a very great news. One more finding that I personally learned analyzing all these protocols is that, for example, in Aave, there is a very, very good mathematicians behind all the processes. So they calculate all the risk scores, and they create different way models to rebalance the portfolio and to define the thresholds for different coins, which currently doesn't exist in FreeTON. Yeah, so and of course we can easily take this analytics and just copy paste it from Aave, but without the deep understanding on why they selected this or that ratio, so it is not a good way to go. So what I would do actually is, first of all, I would run additional contests for building the mass model for lending based on the Aave, and maybe grounding all of the results and how they can be reused in future, actually. So what I mean is that in case we would like, or the operators lending platform would like to add some additional coins, and how he should score it. Because of course in our documentation now it is stated the result of the mathematician works, but if you need to approach an absolutely new asset, so what would be the procedure? And I would maybe run a contest that will help to explain all of this stuff, and also propose a model on how to add new assets to this lending protocol. And also, speaking of implementation part, we can already start approaching the first implementation phase, maybe the simplest one. I would personally, of course, target the market leaders, so and mostly copy the models of Aave, Compound, and Maker. They are not so much different from each other, and they proved by the time that they are very good ones. But again, I think that we will discover a lot of peculiarities when trying to implement this in FreeTON. So, guys who have read the submissions and all these ideas that guys has proposed, please express yourself. What do you think about this? Really, no ideas? Or is it too complex subject to discuss for now? Okay. Okay, in this case, I will draft some contests for mass models for the lending protocol, and also try to approach what would be the first stage of this lending implementation, because definitely the lending protocol is something we really need here, because it's really a missing piece for some high-level protocols that may come here later, and that we will be promoting from the DeFi Alliance side to port the solutions to the FreeTON. Okay, I also wanted to announce, and you may have heard already this on the weekly call, but still I want to say it again. So we have two big wins, actually. So we have two existing DeFi projects with a good liquidity coming to FreeTON ecosystem. So the first one is FRAX. So for those of you who may not know, so it is a stable coin pegged to US dollar algorithmic. So it's a hybrid stable coin. So part of it is backed by reserves, and part of it is algorithmically balanced. So it's really an interesting project with its own community, and this community will be coming here. And soon we will also announce about this partnership if it's already not done. I didn't see the news yet. So, and most probably it will be also participating in the farming program. So please keep an eye on it and on the farming interface. Another one is the STASIS. It is a stablecoin pegged to euro, and they will be coming after FRAX. And this is also a good win because they have something like 50 or 60 million euro in TVL. So, and this is actually what we really need right now, because we need some native stable coins. And with both products, we agreed on 2 stages. So the first stage is that they will simply add the support of the coins to the bridge, so they could easily transfer the native tokens through the bridge to the FreeTON ecosystem. And at the second stage, so they will build the FreeTON native version of this stablecoin. So not the rocked one, but the native one, which is also a great news. And it has a huge PR already, especially in the professional community. Yeah, so good news for all of us, and I hope that it will boost FreeTON future. Okay, so yeah, Alina, please.
Yeah, coming back to the topic of lending and borrowing, I just wanted to mark and note that our Svoi.dev team, we took 2nd place in the contest, and we didn't really have much time to do essay, but we're still grateful for the opportunity to think about the topic. And we also wanted to say that if you need any assistance or help in
Absolutely.
with the draft, you can just message, text us, and we will do our best.
Thank you, of course. And I invite everyone who wants to participate. So I will just draft the contest and drop it in the group. So if anyone wants to join the discussion, because I see different views on how this issue can be tackled, and that's great actually, because the more concepts we have, the more ideas we have that do not just simply follow what already exists in the market, but also try to reach some new frontiers and create some new ideas that maybe in future will be dominating in the market. So the better. Yeah. So I invite everyone to join for discussion. Thank you, Alina.
Thank you.
Okay, that's pretty it from my side. So if you have some additional topics to discuss, so now's the time. So we have still 20 minutes to discuss. Yes, Alexander, please.
I want to edit something about SSI contest. I had yesterday conversation with one from jury, Alexei Novikov, and he was totally disagreeing.
Alexander, you disappeared. Is it only me having some issues with hearing Alexander?
No, not only you.
Okay.
Now you hear right one more time.
Yeah, just try switching off your camera. Maybe it's better.
I have a bad connection. If no,
yeah, we hear you now. Or not.
Okay. let's try. It's about some participants in SSI contest where I put a good mark because I know this team, like famous one from famous specialist in SSI firm, and I was sure that they understand this term very good, and was a very good explanation on their white paper. And maybe I looked that they not so good understanding how FreeTON works, but I decide that a good team with good understanding of this theme, it's much important that to understand for now how FreeTON and
Oh, Alexander, we don't hear you really well.
Okay, maybe I'm explain in chat, maybe it will be better and we explain in chat, yes?
Yeah, thank you. I think what Alexander tried to say that some jurors, so they express alternative opinion that in such a contest there should first come the understanding of how FreeTON works, and only after that all other theoretical concepts behind the all SSI framework. Both concepts, both attempts to this question are true, and both of them can exist, and that's good that we have both of them, actually. If you remember, at the very beginning, when we were starting the fight of governance, actually, I was saying, and I still stick to this idea that the more diverse the jury is, the more adequate is the score. So, because we have a lot of people who understand good finance, a lot of people who understand well how FreeTON works, and all of them have their own opinion. And it's absolutely good for all of us if we have both opinions here, because otherwise it will be just shift to only one part of the problem. And so I personally like that we have different opinions here.
Yes, I agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. Yes, Dmitry, please.
Yes, hi, Vlad. I just wanted to clarify, you said regarding the stables, FRAX and STASIS, that on the second stage, they will make the native implementation. What did you mean by native? Because in FreeTON, we already have tip 3, which we mean as stable.
I mean that they will create, so right now the infrastructure is tailored specifically to the Ethereum network. So, and all of the business processes, all of the smart contracts, etc., all of this is packed to Ethereum. When I say that at the second stage they will create the native stable coins to FreeTON, it's pretty much what Tether does. So initially, if you remember, they were on the Omni protocol, then they added the ERC20 version of USDT, then they added to Tron, and so on and so forth. So this is pretty similar case. So they have the single custody for the reserves that stay behind the stablecoin, but this liquidity will be splitted actually between two networks already, so between Ethereum and FreeTON. Whereas at the first stage, what actually happens is that they whole liquidity is backed, that is backed by the reserves, stay in Ethereum. Even the case that they transfer the coins through the bridge doesn't change the fact that the original coin still stays in Ethereum, and the tip3 token that is issued by the bridge against this locked ERC20 version is a stable coin to stable coin or derivative of stable coin. So at the second stage, they will create the level 1 token directly on FreeTON.
Okay, so they will make some mechanisms to directly stabilize using some intra FreeTON mechanisms.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, but I don't think that it is a good stage for DeFi Alliance, because there will be no locks, so no locked tokens of that.
Yes and no. From one side, the more reserves the bridge has in its vaults, the more it can earn on it. That's true. But on the other side, the more protocols move natively to FreeTON, the better is the visibility of the whole project, and the more other projects are coming to the ecosystem. So, and that's our ultimate target, that we have a lot of our native projects here and a lot of attention to FreeTON itself, and not only to serve, like operating only with raw tokens. So speaking widely, in the strategic standpoint, it's better when projects move natively to FreeTON.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Well, thanks for question. Okay, any other questions, guys, please? Yeah, Alina, please.
Yeah, I just wanted also to say that tomorrow is the last day of voting process in DEX implementation. Yeah,
thank you so much. I forgot to mention.
Yeah, and maybe if somebody didn't see in the chat, we created short video presentation about everything was done in our TonSwap project during the second stage. So yeah, if anybody has any questions or comments, we're open for discussions.
Yeah, thank you, Alina. I will also send a reminder to all jurors now, because all of the participants, if I'm not wrong, have prepared the demo videos. And I'm really grateful for this because it really facilitates the judging process. Yeah, I will ping everyone because I think, in fact, it's a bit more than 1 day. It's 1 day and some hours still.
It's like today and tomorrow night.
Yeah, but better not to put this until the very last moment, of course.
By the way, Vlad, I want to express the respect to Alina and her team about their activity in the promotion and the pushing all the DeFi subgov and so on. So how they are remind or promote or trying to ask for AMA session and so on. So one of the best example how the DeFi community should behave. Yeah. Very good. Alina, I'm respect to your team. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's very nice to hear.
Okay, good. Okay, seems no more discussions, so I will start my traditional countdown. So it's 3, 2, 1. Ivan is not here. Okay, so that's it. Okay, guys, thank you very much for attending. It was a very interesting discussion today. So, and see you next week, same time.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, bye.